What's up, security people? I'm Rob Wood from TrustCISO. There you go. That's me. Got a bit of a cold. Sorry. I'm not trying to nurse a gravelly voice on purpose. Just your usual daily bulletin of news goodness from the security and trust world. I'll tell you what you need to know and give you the trust angle on it. Please, if you haven't already and you do like these videos, you do want me to continue to make them, then like the video if you like the video. Subscribe and enable notifications on YouTube. Check out our LinkedIn and Twitter pages. It's all just TrustCISO wherever you're looking. And check out our webpage at trustciso.com. Today we've got two stories for you, one about QNAP and one about Facebook. Bless them. Well, let's just get straight into it. QNAP. What happens when a popular NAS firmware has a remote code execution vulnerability and a write arbitrary files vulnerability at the same time? Bad things, you'd think. Yeah, so if someone spots this and tells you about it and then goes through responsible disclosure, gives you very responsibly gives you 4 months to fix it. Before disclosure, you'd get right on it and fix it, right? You wouldn't do it at the last minute or not at all. Sam Seamless Network, the company that discovered these vulnerabilities through fuzzing, they published a blog post just Wednesday last week saying they still hadn't been fixed, these vulnerabilities. Thursday, the following day, QNAP rushed out a patch which fixed one of the vulnerabilities. Now, it looks like a new version of the media server app has also come out in the last day or so, last couple of days, that fixes the other vulnerability. But they, despite having a CVE code for that vulnerability, they haven't referred to it. They've just said, here's some new features in the media server software. What are they trying to tell their users there? They're not compelling their users to upgrade. They're not telling their users that they should, that they must, that there's a security problem. And why wait the full 4 months and then post an update, a security patch the day after they then go into disclosure? That seems a little bit bizarre. So I'm going to question the internal processes there. I'm going to question whether it received the right level of prioritization inside QNAP's organization, or whether they then see if they could get away with it. You know, we've got a bit of time. We don't have to rush. And then did they forget about it? And then the blog post reminded them. Did they get one last warning from Sam Seamless and saying, yeah, by the way, we're telling everyone tomorrow, don't forget. So yeah, I think that really this is a question in getting on top of things. The trust angle, you've got to do the right things even when no one's watching. If you think you've got 4 months to fix something, you really should still be fixing it as quickly as possible, not letting the company go ahead and disclose to publish. Sorry. And then why not? You know, there's a CVE code for this. What are you trying to save? The cat's out of the bag. You don't want to be saying, yeah, we fixed it. Everything's up to date. We fixed it. Refer to it. Refer to the CVE code. Demonstrate to people that you are doing the right things. That you've updated this software. That you've released a patch for it, and this is the problem that we're talking about. So we're all talking about the same thing. That's transparency. That counts. Okay. And then next up, that's all I've got for you today, Facebook. So what's happened really here? There's these 553 million user records that are floating around since 2019, including full names, mobile numbers, date of births, Facebook IDs, and bios. It affects 32.3 million users in the US and 11.5 million in the UK. And it affects 106 countries. If it affects me in the UK, I do use Facebook. I didn't get any notification from them, which I should have done under GDPR. And GDPR was fully enforced and in enforcement by that time. So it's not new news that Facebook has lost those records in 2019. But what's new news is that the data is now freely available. It was being charged for, it was being sold on hacker forums, and now it's totally out there. It's free. It's in the public domain. It's being given away for free. Researchers are monkeying around with it and mining it. What Facebook say is that, we knew about this. We fixed the hole back then. And anyway, it's old data, so it's not really, it's no big deal. We'll get onto that in a minute. Let's do a little bit of a rundown of Facebook's recent history. So in October, and forgetting even Cambridge Analytica and the fact that they were letting Facebook's policies at that time let application developers take data from friends of friends, not just friends. Because, of course, we can all be trusted. We are our brother's keepers. October 2018, hackers accessed the data of 29 million users. Right? Okay. December 2018, a bug provided third-party apps with access to photos of nearly 7 million people. Okay. April 2019, this breach occurred. The 500 million records. Actually, it was found on public, unprotected Amazon S3 buckets. From 2 app developers, one which had the bulk of the data and one which only had like 22,000 or something like that. But they killed their app off like in 2014. Why are they still holding user data? And their user data, that data included passwords. How in this day and age are passwords being stored anywhere? It makes no sense to me at all. Actually, as an aside, I TrustCISO tweeted and posted. I think it posted on LinkedIn. I signed up for a page and it emailed me my password. Thanks for signing up those 10 seconds ago. Here's an email, here's your user ID, and here's the password you entered. Jeez, come on. Since when was that ever a good idea? And in fact, who's been doing that in the last 15 to 20 years? Nobody who knows what they're doing is doing that, should be doing that. If you are able to email someone a plain text password, it's because you are storing a plain text password and you're processing it and you think it's a good idea. You're wrong on all of those things. The only time you ever look at a password is when you're hashing it and storing the hash, or hashing it and comparing the hash against the stored hash, because then the users enter the right password. But you don't know what it is, and that's a very good thing. So I'm very disappointed when I see sites doing that. I'm my other bugbear. When you see a site that emails you a password, that's terrible. But a site that is telling you you're signing up, and I'm still getting this even today from banks and financial services companies, where their criteria for password is choose a password between 8 and 10 characters. Well, that's very specific, but if I want to use a 250 character password, I will. I should be able to do that. And if you're doing your job properly and you're dealing with hashes and not strings of password text, then it's going to end up that size anyway. Anyway, I digress. This stuff's important, people. In May 2019, which wasn't a huge step away from April 2019 when they lost these 500 million records. In May 2019, database containing details and records of more than 49 million people using Facebook owned Instagram was leaked by an Indian marketing company. Why has that Indian marketing company got that data in bulk? It should be temporary in time of need, a one-time link. They should be able to access data to use it to make their decision, all within a processing cycle. They shouldn't be able to just take the whole lot and do stuff with it in bulk. That we're not really, I think, happy as users with all of our data being passed en masse, in bulk, to third-party companies that we then have to trust them to look after our data as well as Facebook was. If they use our data, but Facebook are still the custodians of our data and protecting it, then I think that's probably more of a normal relationship and more of what we'd expect. But then it's not like Facebook are doing a fantastic job of looking after our data anyway. In September 2019, 419 million phone numbers linked to Facebook accounts were left exposed on an unprotected server. Well, gosh. That's a lot of records. But let's go back to Facebook's answer to all this. That was August 2019. That's old data. It's a lot. It's changed since then, so it's nothing to worry about. Well, I haven't changed my name in the last 2 years. In fact, I haven't changed my name ever. Wait a minute. My date of birth hasn't changed either. I think I need to rotate. I'm going to start rotating my date of birth every 12 weeks. I'm going to rotate my date of birth every 12 weeks. That's normal. That's a good thing, right? Isn't it? Isn't it a good thing? If our date of birth is used in any way to help prove our identity, to help authenticate us, then it's an authentication measure, in which case it's a password. So it should be being changed. Except it's really hard to do with your date of birth, isn't it? There's all sorts of legal issues with that. So my phone number hasn't changed either. My phone number hasn't changed and don't tell anyone because this could be used against me. My cell phone number hasn't changed for 20 years. I'm not planning to change it either. So what do we think about Facebook here? Are they being fair here? Or are they being a bit disingenuous, saying, don't worry, it's old data? So from their perspective, and this is a failure of professional empathy here, someone from Facebook says, and they have, that's old data. It's of low value. It's because when your job is having fresh data and exploiting it to make money, that's one thing. When that data is about you as an individual and you're looking at that data saying, that's my data, that's data about me, the concept of freshness really doesn't come into it. The concept of value to Facebook doesn't come into it at all. The concept of keeping it private to you as an individual is the only thing that matters. So Facebook has really committed a heinous act of a failure of professional empathy there, to look through their customers' eyes and to talk about their customer data, which they have let out, talking about their customer data from the perspective of the customer. And they've got to get better at that. Everyone has got to get better at that. You cannot earn trust by talking a different language, by not talking at all, by not being transparent, and by failing to walk a mile in your customer's shoes, as they like to say. Well, that's enough. I don't want to be He-Man and end it on a moral point. But this is what the TrustCISO is about. We're looking at the security stuff. We can talk about the security stuff. I'm happy to debate as I have done in the last couple of days, debate whether TLS 1.1 and 1.2 need to be marked as deprecated now that 1.3 is here, or whether good security is good and great security is great, but whether good security isn't good enough when you've got great security available. Well, that's interesting from a security point of view. From a trust point of view, it's interesting for different reasons. So that's the kind of stuff you can expect from me, even when I'm nursing a cold. Hey, if you do like what I do, if you want to see some more of these videos, if you're happy getting your news and your spin on trust like this from me, please do the thing. Like the channel, like the video, subscribe, enable notifications. All of those things help us with beat the algorithms and get into your inbox. Thanks again. I've really enjoyed talking to you and reading up on all this stuff on your behalf. So if you don't mind, I'm going to do it again. I'll see you again soon. Bye.